À 100 ans, Paul Biya, président. Alors, ça choque donc les Ambazo Boys. Je vois un bébé à Banzo Boy donner le défi à Biya. Bienvenue au 20h. C'est quel genre d'histoire?
Qu'est-ce qui va donc se passer en Afrique? Nous sommes avec vous, madame et monsieur. Rebonsoir à tous.
Et bienvenue au 20h.
3, 2, 1, go!
Ok, c'est bon.
BAM!
Résultat définitif du scrutin. 2 semaines à attendre, pendant lesquelles les rumeurs, les manipulations et les intimidations prospèrent. Dans les pays du monde, y compris en Afrique, le peuple connaît le verdict des urnes en quelques heures seulement. Au Sénégal et au Nigeria, le jour même du vote, et tout récemment au Tchad, voisin du Cameroun, 72 heures ont suffi pour avoir les résultats provisoires de l'élection. Seulement au Cameroun, il faut patienter dans l'angoisse et l'incertitude. 2 semaines, c'est bien trop pour un pays qui prétend être démocratique. 2 semaines, c'est le temps idéal pour altérer, falsifier, manipuler les procès-verbaux. Le code électoral camerounais est en soi une machine à la fraude institutionnalisée. L'article 113 dispose clairement que les résultats des bureaux de vote doivent être rendus publics immédiatement après le dépouillement. Mais en réalité, cette disposition est vidée de tout son sens dans la pratique électorale. On n'a qu'à observer le ministre de l'administration territoriale dans ses éternelles mises en garde. Résultat, une transparence théorique qui n'est pas effective sur le terrain. Même si l'on disposait d'un réseau fiable pour agréger les résultats de tous les bureaux de vote, le système empêcherait leur diffusion. Une opacité totale qui protège ceux qui ont intérêt à manipuler les résultats du scrutin. Et pourtant, Issa Chiroma Bakari, candidat du Front pour le Salut National du Cameroun, s'auto-proclame vainqueur. Cabral Libi appelle quant à lui au respect de la loi et de la vérité des urnes. Joshua aussi admet sa défaite. Akere Mouna et Ateki Clarkson Seta félicitent quant à eux Issa Chiroma Bakari. Sur quelle base ces acteurs politiques se prononcent-ils? Si ce n'est sur les tendances réelles issues des urnes, le choix du peuple semble connu, mais il est retenu en otage par un code électoral fait pour servir les intérêts du pouvoir en place. Il est aussi retenu en otage par les autres candidats qui, d'une manière ou d'une autre, entretiennent le flou sur ce qu'ils connaissent de réel. Sur les 11 candidats de l'opposition à ce scrutin présidentiel, seuls quelques-uns ont jusqu'ici clairement indiqué les tendances du processus électoral. Cabral Libi, Joshua Oshi ou encore Patricia Toumainou Damjoya semblent jouer au chat et à la souris sans clairement indiquer qui pour l'instant est en tête du scrutin. Ce qui est scandaleux, c'est que ce chaos n'est pas le fruit du hasard. Il semble bien organisé. Depuis des décennies, les partis politiques réclament un code électoral consensuel, clair et transparent. Depuis des décennies, le pouvoir refuse, car cette opacité lui confère un avantage inestimable: contrôler la proclamation des résultats, retarder la vérité des urnes et maintenir la mainmise totale sur le résultat des élections. Ce code électoral est un instrument de manipulation, un instrument pour ceux qui veulent transformer la démocratie en une illusion. Il est donc temps de poser les vraies questions. Pourquoi le code électoral reste-t-il ambigu au Cameroun? Pourquoi le peuple doit-il attendre 2 semaines pour connaître ses propres voix? Pourquoi le pouvoir préfère-t-il l'opacité à la transparence? Tant ces questions resteront sans réponse, la démocratie camerounaise ne sera qu'un théâtre, un simulacre où la vérité sort des urnes mais ne peut exister publiquement. Le peuple sait, mais le système refuse de reconnaître son choix. Et c'est ce système qu'il faut clairement dénoncer. Et pour convaincre les derniers réticents de la mauvaise foi du système en vigueur au Cameroun, on observe des séries d'intimidations, comme par exemple cette mandataire du parti de Issa Chiroma.
On your screen is a snapshot of the results from the presidential election in Cameroon. I don't know if this is coming out of one polling station or this is the national result. It says Issa Chiroma Bakari 67%, Paul Biya 22%. If this is national, that indicates Issa Chiroma Bakari will become the next president of Cameroon. My people of the United Kingdoms of Tika, pay attention to every second of this video. Share with your friends and relatives. Make sure you subscribe on this channel so that every time a video is uploaded, you are notified. We'll go ahead and analyze the reactions coming from TikTok. We went on TikTok to listen to Cameroonians and what they are saying. What are they thinking about what is going on in this country? Let's take a listen. We can see what is happening. People are going out there bringing down posters of President Paul Biya. There is an African proverb which says, I am because we are. Ubuntu. If I dim the light of others, I darken the world that I get to live into. So if I dim your light, I make the world that I myself will live in darker. Israel was in Egypt for 430 years as slaves. After that, they went on the Babylonian exile for 70 years. When Rome colonized Israel, they went on another exile for over 2,000 years, scattered abroad, before the state of Israel was established. My people of the United Kingdoms of Tika, I know we are too smart. We are about to go into another 500 years of slavery, marginalization, and subjugation. I heard some saying, oh, isn't it wonderful that we have a president that speaks English? Paul Biya spoke English when he came to power.
Government has been of great help to us, particularly in the fields of agriculture, education, and health. We do appreciate the contribution of the United States.
When he came to the Northwest to collect his trophy to become funds of funds, he spoke English.
Come back again.
Okay, Your Excellency. Thank you for the university.
As fund of funds.
Do you understand? We are about to go into another 500 years of slavery in Cameroon. Fair? Let's keep watching.
Les jeunes ne partaient plus en aventure. Le pays est déjà bon. On aime notre pays, mais il n'y avait pas moyen. On devait seulement partir. On aime notre, on veut garantir notre avenir.
Those are Northeast. In the Garoua area, they are rising up to say, enough is enough. So hold your seat belt tight and let's study together. Right here, this is education, not school. Because there is a difference between education and school. School was designed to program you to work for factories or go get a job. It was invented around the 18th to 20th century, after the Industrial Revolution, to program you for factories. Education prepares you for life. Fair? Let's keep listening. But there is a lot for you to learn in this video. Tika people and Cameroonians alike. Let's keep listening.
Mais il n'y avait pas moyen. Mais ce Chiloma est déjà là. Ils sont tranquilles, tête posée. Ils sont partis, dites-leur de revenir. Le pays est déjà bon.
Le salam! 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 Salam!
Right on your screen is the aftermath of the election. I told you they were breaking stuffs in Garoua. It's very intense over there. How do you conduct yourself if this country go up in flames as the Tika people? I've heard of mass migration. People are moving from the Francophone zone back to the Anglophone zone. Regardless, let's keep watching.
Mota soje kam wartiri bakujero bana burbur do fe jamdi ma yasipe do fe injaluen daro di hersinen be do fe yasipe.
Now let's listen to this lady. She said Issa Chiroma has won the election. Don't mess with those in the north. Let's take a listen to what she said, and then we are going to analyze how this country is structured. Cameroon is not a country. We don't have countries in Africa. We have states. We have European spheres of influence. That is what we have in Africa. We don't have countries yet. Right? Because what is a country? A country is made up of people who have shared ancestry and history, common language and culture, communal values and moral vision, consent to govern each other. Without these four pillars, you don't have a country. You have states, you have European spheres of influence. That is what we have in Africa. So the next stage of our evolution as Africans will be to form countries based on this four pillars: shared ancestry and history, common language and culture, mutual values and moral vision, consent to govern together. Without this, you will never have a country. God took 12 tribes from Israel, made a nation. Didn't try to put all the slaves in Egypt and make a nation. No, he took 12 tribes and made a nation. That formula works. Just like we are looking at all the tribes, 80 in the Northwest, digging deep into our history to understand who we are, how far we've come as a people from our migration in Sudan, settling in the Bamenda Highlands. That formula works. After the Roman Empire fell, France, Britain, Germany, they found themselves, created nations. It worked. And then now they are coming together to say, oh, let's do European Union, of which just 27 European countries are part of that union. But it works. Africa, let's come together as one, and then we will build a nation. Africa now is not a continent, it's a country. And some are running after that idea. This formula works. Thousands of years of history and data. This is 5,000 plus years of data that my team and I have digested to solve one problem here. You get it? You see this kind of substance. Someone that denies your problem shows up and say, now I accept that you have a problem. That is the individual that you choose. I said 500 years of pain is about to start. It will be worse than what we are experiencing now, because after information, God doesn't spare you, my people. You can cry, say, God help me, lift your hands up. No, he won't help you when you deny knowledge. There are many Anglophones, if you really wanted change, that went in to become president. You would have voted them. Something is wrong somewhere. You see what I'm saying? The next wind of pain is on the horizon. But let's keep listening. There's a lot for you to get in this video. Right? Let's keep listening.
C'est lui qui va gagner. Vous avez fait la guerre au Bamileke, maintenant là c'est les nordistes. Ils vont vous traiter fort. Les nordistes avec les anglophones, ils vont vous faire ça fort. Voilà. On dit que tout ce que Dieu fait est bon. Vous avez chassé les Bamileke parce qu'ils sont moumous. Maintenant Dieu vous a envoyé chez les nordistes. Ils vont vous traiter. Et nous sommes derrière eux. Cheval blanc. Mon cheval blanc.
That woman said something very important. You started a war with the Anglophones. Fair. And then the Bamileke now is the Northeast. Are you seeing that the citizens themselves know that these are different groups, different nations stitched together in this country? This is not a war between the state and the people. It is a war with the Northeast. Are you understanding? You will hear another sister. The human beings in this geographical location instinctively react this way, but somehow say, no, we are all Cameroonians. Again, a country is formed through shared ancestry and history, common language and culture, mutual values and moral vision, consent to govern each other. Without this, a nation doesn't exist. So she has clearly outlined, and that validates our research work, our studies, and what we put on this platform for free, so that you can get your act together and bring about change. The energy I see in Anglophones today, I'm shocked that they could go to this extent, because they were passive. They are not part of politics. Politics doesn't concern us. I'm shocked to see people who thought, oh, this is the direction we are going, we don't care about politics. Now they are getting involved. Not only are they getting involved, they are shaping the minds of the people into what they have always thought of. You get it? God cannot bless ignorance. Never. But let's listen to this sister.
Teona no, Issa Chiroma Bakari is nowhere to be found. I'm broken, guys. At Teona. Now the video this one I take I watch am because I don't tire self. Which kind of news did the one woman the year? So the people when I wanted war for Cameroon, no. See a Muslim they are war the Muslim they are war Anglophone crisis the joke now.
Muslims have a different way of saying things. Anglophone is joking. You see, what she just did through what she said, these are instinctive. These are instincts. You can hear, she knows this is something that concerns the Northeast. In America, for example, when there is an issue, you hear the Democrats versus the Republicans. At least these are groups that represent two core ideologies, predominantly that govern this country. It's not color of the skin. These are groups that represent an idea. That is why it is a country. And that is why we have European spheres of influence. We have jurisdictions. We don't yet have countries in Africa. Do you understand? We don't yet have countries in Africa. The same borders that were shaped during the Berlin Conference to administer the people here for the extraction of raw materials still stands. The white man has gone. We just have a black face maintaining the same system. And whether Issa Chiroma becomes president, it is the same thing. You get it? Now is the Northeast. Even the people are saying it. That now it's not a war of the other people are just supporting the Northeast. Let me put it that way. So the rest of the nation is supporting the Northeast. Education and school. That's why you leave from school, you want a job. Because the Industrial Revolution created school to condition and program human beings to do their jobs in factories. Education brings out what was already in you. That is why I said 70 to 80% of what makes you a leader, you come into this world with it. School only harnesses what is inside. If you don't have it, you don't have it. Whatever skills, it might be engineering. School now goes and studies what has worked, and then they raise professors to teach what has worked. That is why none of your physics teachers have been able to create airplanes, even propellers. They haven't done that. When they go study, those who have created airplanes, now they come over and teach you so that you can go maintain that system. That is why all your chemistry teachers, your historians, they know the history of this country, but they cannot solve the problems in this country. After the problems have been solved, they will go study that, package it. Somebody go learns how to teach that, they become historians. Because some came here and told me, what do we have great scholars in the community? No. What you are seeing here, this is civilizational thinking. Less than 1% of people on planet Earth possess civilizational intelligence. I say this with all humility. It's a great thing that we take advantage of everything that I'm putting out here, unite and make progress together. Civilizational intelligence. There is analytical intelligence, emotional intelligence. This is civilizational intelligence. To look at our migration journey from Sudan to Bam to the Tika, Bamenda Highlands, how we've evolved over time, and our culture and our traditions and ways of life is still intact to tell us how distinct we are. And to make sense of that, benchmark it with Rome and the collapse of Rome and how the states in Europe or the countries in Europe were formed. Israel and how that nation was formed. China and the thousands of years they have existed. To take all of that to solve one problem here, I've not seen in Africa. With all humility, this is civilizational intelligence, showing you how we can build a country based on our common ancestry while adapting to technology, modernity, and modern institutions. This is civilizational intelligence, because if I don't explain to you what I'm doing here, you think this is content creation. This is education. Depositing into your soul knowledge that gets you think and bring something out of you. Not programming you to go get a job. My MBA is in finance. Went through the whole program. There was never a class that I was taught on how to become an entrepreneur. Everything was preparing you to become an investment banker, to go work in a bank, or go serve someone else, go work in an insurance company. Everything was programming me to become an employee. They don't teach this in school. This is invention, creativity. Just about 10 to 15 people on planet Earth possess analytical skills. 10. Less than 1% possess what we call civilizational intelligence. 1 to 2% possess creative skills. Just the average creation that we see. Do you understand? If you don't educate people on what is going on here, you think you just jumped on some other bandwagon of creativity. Go look around and see the people that are talking about whatever is going on in your country. You will know the difference. If you cannot tell the difference, that shows how long it will take even you to catch up. But the good news is, the people in the West, they don't have to break their back to discover everything. That is the power of leverage. That one good one among them comes up with a good idea. They all rally behind that idea. The whole community gets blessed. You don't have to be an inventor or King Kong. You must not do everything by yourself. That is good news. Do you understand? I throw in my all into this. Spend time even with our ancestors to understand what is happening with us and how far we have come as a people, so that we can make progress, so that the mother in the village can be able to farm their vegetables and have a good road to go sell that vegetable so that we can have good drinking water in our community. That is why I do what I do here. So that our children will not only go to school, but receive education that brings out skills and creativity in them to build a modern society. So that we can be respected globally. That is why I do what I do here. If you see this as clickbait for you, it tells me how far you have. But if you follow, you will be saved, and your family and your children's children will be saved. If not, we have another 500 years to go through pain. Let's keep listening.
When Muslims don't stand war for you, it go bypass and become crisis. When I become team the Hadith side. That's not the video, that's not the video.
Ça ne doit pas arriver. On ne sait plus maintenant là où on l'a amené. Voilà la population en furie. On cherche.
J'ai vu la couleur jaune, toute la capitale.
For those who say they are happy at least that Issa Chiroma speaks English, Paul Biya speaks English. They will speak English to bring you into the net. Once you are in the net, they will bring back the French system. Paul Biya speaks English. This is an audio a couple of years ago of Issa Chiroma and Chris Ano. You will hear when Issa Chiroma Bakari picked up the phone, immediately what he did. Let's take a listen.
Hello. Hello, Mr. Chiroma. Good morning, sir. This is Chris Ano with the Cameroon Journal.
Chris, vous ne pouvez pas parler en français? Vous êtes Camerounais, non?
Well, Mr. Minister, you know I don't understand French. I know very little of French. I know you.
If you listen to that audio to the end, he goes on to speak in English. But when he picked up the phone, the man introduced himself. Immediately he responded in French. When you have a short-term memory like that of a goldfish, you forget easily. And they capture you again. Just put corn around, the chicken always comes. Throw corn every time, the chicken will come in. But you can't trick an eagle like that. You can't trick an eagle with corn, but you will trick a chicken every time. It will come to eat the corn and end up in that trap. Short-term memory. You can't trick the Jews because they have 5,000 years of their history. When you manifest with a script, they know their history. They know all their neighbors around that area. And this is where I want us to be. This is the kind of country I want us to build. That we are respected among men. That the next time a francophone, of which we are more enlightened than them, if you want to think about it in that sense. But somehow, some from among us will always take the corn. And when they take the corn, it makes all of us look bad. That has been our story again and again and again. When Aijo came, play the same game. When Paul Biya came, play the same game. When he's coming to Bamenda to get the funds of funds, he throws the English around. That is the corn. The people come in. The chiefs, everybody come in.
I'm calling you because of what is...
Mr. Chris, I am sorry. When I make a statement, it's on behalf of the government. On behalf of the government. So when you raise such an issue for which I don't have at all the proof of your statement, no American...
He can't speak English. But when he picked up the phone, you are a Cameroonian, come on. No, these are public servants. in their capacity, they should be able to speak English and French if they want to serve the people in a bilingual country. They should be able to speak English and French. But he picks up the phone, the first thing is, Cameroon is bilingual. You are the one to speak English and French. He, the servant, is not supposed to learn, understand how to speak English and French. That is why they throw it around. Oh my God, I'm so happy. We will refuse to build a country that is all Anglophone, that we don't have to go through that route. And thank God that at least we have a Francophone president that speaks English. My question again is, this translation back and forth, how long do you think it's going to take us to develop in a post-colonial country that is bilingual? A nation is not a border. It is a people bound by consent and identity. A nation is a living community joined by shared ancestry and history, common language and culture, mutual values and moral vision, consent to govern each other. Without that, you don't have a nation. How long will this back and forth? And the good thing is we don't have any binding document with La Republic. So the problem is not really our people. It's the few ones among us that want to maintain the status quo. The problem is not La Republic, because the energy that I see everyone portraying on social media tells me if everyone from the Tika land united, we will have our freedom. When people are one, they can't be defeated. But we always have individuals among us with divided energy. Let's keep listening. You think Paul Biya don't know how to speak English? You believe so? His refusal to speak English is deliberate. And you will see that coming from Issa Chiroma after he wins this election. I mean, what are we really talking about here? We travel around the world and see what is happening. Do you really believe that a Francophone will ever bring sustainable transformation in your life? My people from the Tika land, America speaks English. Look at the development from Google, Facebook, YouTube, iPhone, the internet. These people have a heritage that comes from France. What kind of development will these individuals ever bring? Why will you choose to deliberately subject yourself under this kind of scrutiny? Why? Look at the countries colonized by France today. All the devices and the countries you will choose to travel to speak English. You go into those nations, come out and support a Francophone system in Cameroon that has killed thousands of your people. And we want to pray and have the blessings of God. No, that is karma. Our ancestors are slowly detaching themselves from us. Israel was out like this for 2,000 years. 430 in Egypt. 70 during the Babylonian exile.
Our two governments have signed an agreement on the reciprocal protection of investments, which will certainly encourage them. Assistance from the American government has been of great help to us, particularly in the fields of agriculture, education, and health. We do appreciate the contribution of the United States to our social life and hope that the number of cultural exchange programs will increase. Since our foreign policy is based on international cooperation. We count very much on the United States. Our relations are characterized.
That is President Reagan. Do you know when that man was president? He's dead and gone. Paul Biya could speak and read in English before the President of the United States of America. So before you say, oh, no, it's a deliberate attempt, because it is difficult. Do you understand? That translation back and forth is difficult. To manage a post-colonial country like ours. Thank God our ancestors did not ratify this union. We have an opportunity right now to reclaim our sovereignty, restore our nation, and build a country that we can be proud of. Your inability to cooperate is hindering the progress of everyone here. Whether it is in your quiet time that you think that way, is affecting the progress of the Tika people. Now, when he came to Bamenda to receive the Fund of Funds title, he spoke in English. Again, it is difficult to manage a country like this. So the goal is that how can we eradicate this English so that the country can be all one speaking French, of which if you look at the economic value of French, it doesn't make sense that we adopt French and then we drop English. There are about 200 million Chinese people as we speak right now learning English so that they can do business with the rest of the world. English is the diplomatic and business language of the world. It will be difficult for all of them to learn English, and they are coming from a descendant of individuals that love to dominate. That is the French culture. When you know you can't even manage, you can lead, what you have is inferior. English, by global standard today, is superior. So when you go to participate in this system, I mean, sit back and ask yourself the question, what are you doing? Because at the end of the day, the only way this country will work is to eradicate this English, and they have French, as long as we are part of the system. Whether it is now or in the next 200 years. Or we slowly move away from this system. Build an all-English speaking country. And then they go on with their French. They will have peace. We will have peace. And we can go on to trade and do business with each other. The problem is not these people holding us. The problem is us from within and our inability to cooperate, even when we see the truth about our story. And then we want God's blessings. We want our ancestors' blessings. It's like saying the children of Israel, just stay in Egypt and pray hard that at least Pharaoh someday speaks in a language that you understand. And he throws that out during elections, and then we come in. And then now they bring out the French card. We are about to get into another 500 years. That will be worse than the previous 553 years that we have been in pain. I'm sure it's all this confusion that we had that brought pain upon our land. That our ancestors were captured as slaves and sold because of individuals within that community that don't understand that your actions and your behavior affects the entire community. And they went on to participate with outsiders. They went on to engage with outsiders, which brought pain upon our land. The same thing has happened during colonialism, and it still continues today. And we go to the schools and come out and think we are different and we are enlightened and what we are doing is something new. No, it has happened again and again and again with us.
Your Excellency, we wish you the best. Go in for the elections of next year. All the funds are behind operational funds. Okay, Your Excellency. We thank you for the request.
As fund of funds, I warmly salute the traditional rulers of the Northwest region.
Is that not Paul Biya speaking English? You guys find another story to deceive and put your people in bondage. Just justify your actions through your inability to cooperate and work in the community. Don't talk about English as the reason why you're doing what you're doing right now. But again, I've said the God of the Tika is awake, and the consequences of this behavior are building. When the misfortune happen, don't say, God, why have you forsaken me? Because they will not allow us to continue to wallow in ignorance. Let's listen to Foncha again. This is our predecessor. This is at least with when it comes to the Anglophone story. We've defined ourselves through the Berlin Conference and colonialism. So we've forgotten about our Tika heritage. Today we hear it, it sounds like something strange to us, right? So let's listen to the architect of the so-called federal system or unification that was never ratified.
We were dealing only with an interim federal government or an interim members of the house which we subscribe, but there was no parliament so called before the 1st of October. And if he uses that one to talk something about the federation to be born on the 1st of October, and to the best of my knowledge, it did not appear to me that that was going to precede the legalization of the draft constitution. So the very August, I had to go back to him and remind him about the resumed constitution. When he did not answer me, in September, I reminded him, but unfortunately on 1st of October, I used the draft to declare federation and unification.
So by default, legally you are not a Cameroonian, Tika people. And again, we come from a culture that we understand that life is a continuation. We are a continuation of those who came before us. And even if you come from a lineage of those who betrayed us, break that generational curse. Even if you come from families that have this tendency of greed, mediocrity, just go with the flow. Break that generational curse. Discipline yourself and say, I won't cooperate with individuals that treat my people this way. Break it. That behavior is not original, it's not authentic. Again, I shared with you, this is a book that I wrote, The Cameroon Dream. This is a book that I wrote with the same idea and philosophy of one Cameroon that we all grew up in. But the totality of our history and the effects of what has happened with us over time, not only that, understanding our lineage and these points that I've outlined with you here, that there is no way for a country to be born going the way we are going. There is no way for us to have a functioning country this way. What kind of future are you building for yourself and your children's children? This emotional, sentimental approach that we have towards a country that we call our own. If you are a citizen, be actively involved. Without a shared ancestry and history, I mean, do you have any shared ancestry and history with those in the southwest or those in Douala, in Yaoundé, and the northeast? Do you have a shared ancestry? The answer is no. Do you have a common history? No. Common language and culture? No. Do you have mutual values and moral vision? No. Consent to govern together? No. What are you doing with your life? Again, I make these videos so that tomorrow, never complain about a system that you willfully went into, ignored wisdom, choose emotion and sentiment. Lee Kuan Yew took Singapore from a third world to a first world country, not only because he was smart, but because the people were willing to cooperate and build that country. That is what Europeans do. When the Platos, the Aristotles, the George Washington, when they emerge, the people rally. And as they rally, we look at that entire group as smart people. The people that we choose to follow tells the world about who we are. It's not only that leader, but the people that are following that leader. That is the short code to national success and national perception.
We did not finish and must come back. So there things went wrong. And by the 64, he had already made up his mind, scattered the already more or less got into the main cadre of the KNDP and tried to scatter all.
Nous sommes déjà presque arrivés à la fin de cette édition spéciale, l'une des chaînes sociopolitiques. Alors, bienvenue donc pour la prochaine